folks, I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you? All right. Who's responsible here?
What's that?
Who's responsible here? Whose house is this?
Yeah.
Have been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay. Drive careful, okay?
Thank you.
This is what the other group had that ran away.
Oh, really? You just did shit? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car.
It's truly for the win.
That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay? They all knew about it.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
And ice noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
Like brains, and like if you need Lana brains, you're gonna be in trouble.
What is up, guys? Welcome to the Transparency. Happy Hump Day, Wednesday. Thank you for being here, moderators, members, subscribers, those of you guys that are new to the channel, welcome. I'm going to start our day off right with a quick live here. I consider it breaking news only because it's something that you guys have not had before, seen before, and I had the privilege of speaking with Sgt Hathaway on the topic at hand, which is the footage / police officers responding to a burglary, but not knowing where this burglary is located because there was no address dispatch. I mean, it was just a big old mess, right? And all you should do is if you want to, if you have questions, I was always taught to, if you have questions, you ask questions. There's never a stupid question. If you don't understand something, you don't know something, you just go and you ask the right people and let them speak. Find out what it is, and it is what it is, right? There's no reason to assume or speculate, because when you do that, you make an ass out of yourself and others. So, as you guys know, I go get FOIA requests. I have no problem making phone calls, and it is what it is. So I had about, 8-9 minute phone conversation with Sgt Hathaway this morning. He called me back, which was awesome. I want to give props to Sgt Hathaway for calling me back. That's what you're supposed to do, and he did that, and I commend him for that. I was kind of surprised of the answers a little bit, but I'm gonna let you guys make your own minds up. I'm not here to influence you any type of way. I'm here to provide the information, and then you guys use those brains of yours and you guys make the call. Okay. you guys make the call. So hopefully those notifications clicked in. I'll be live again later. The 12 days of Christmas, my brilliant, but it should have been starting today. So that's why I didn't do the members, because 12 days starts on the 13th so that you have to the 25th. So that's that. And that will be today. So let's jump into it. And then, so like my question was, hold on, the report that was on 9/1/2023, in the middle of the night, it was like at 3:14, and then, but they didn't know where this alarm was coming from, and they allegedly dispatched 2 officers out, Flannery, and there was another officer, and the guy wanted to know if those were fake police officers. Do you remember any of this? Oh, yeah, I'm trying to look for my, okay. This is report number 23 M00245. Okay. And it said that the reporting party had security video from his apartment on King Road showing 2 Moscow police officers approaching his residence on 1/9 at about 3:30, and wanted to make sure that they were real cops. I checked the call log and confirmed Officer Flattery had responded to the area for an unknown burglary alarm being called in by the security company. But the issue is that there was no security company at that house. So like, and there was 2 officers. I was curious if you knew the other officer involved, and if you had the security company that sent in a dispatch.
Okay, so what I'm not understanding what the question is.
Do you know the other officer that was sent there?
Right now, no.
Okay. And then do you know the security company that sent out this alarm? Because the 1118 house didn't have a security company alarm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this was 11 plus months ago.
Yeah, I was just wondering if like.
We started getting automated burglary alarm calls to dispatch. That there's apps now that you can buy that it's not like ADT or something that has an alarm company set up on the house, and we just start getting these alarms that give us an address, and it's pretty hard to isolate.
They come from your phone now?
That's what we've experienced. So far, I haven't seen it be effective because it doesn't give you enough information to know what you're even responding to. So,
holy crap!
Officers do their best. We go out and it says it's in this area or at this address, and most of the time nobody knows what's going on or why there's an alarm. And then sometimes we've seen them, I got this app and it does this thing, but and so I haven't seen it be effective. I don't know if that's what this was in this case because it was so long ago, but I do recall vaguely looking up to see if we had officers responding to the area that day at that time, and we did, but that's all I know.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I didn't even know about these apps. So like, because like I have like, so if I have like a Blink or like a Ring, or like I don't even know what I have Safeguard as well. How does my app send it out? Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's based on the GPS location of the phone, which is, in a heavily like a dense population area. If that's the case, we're going to get sent to a radius, which would explain why officers were walking up to a house that had nothing to do with whatever the alarm was.
Okay.
Sometimes we just go out to a call and we look around and we listen, and if we don't see or hear anything, there's nothing for us to do, so we clear.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is all speculation because,
yeah.
I wasn't there too. This was 11 months ago.
Okay. Is there any way, if you can give me just a call back, if you could find out who the other officer was that responded?
What is your involvement with the call? That's part of the issue here too. And you can make public records requests, but I can't dig into our database and release a bunch of information to somebody over the phone.
Oh yeah, no, I'll just put another request. It was just that in your report, it was just saying that there was 2 officers, but only one officer was on the report. So I was just curious of who the other officer was.
The officer that was listed in that report was in the training program, which means he would have a training officer with him.
Okay. Alrighty. And that's interesting about the whole app thing. That was my only question is just the officer, like there was 2 officers, but there was only one officer named. And then just the fact that there was no, I mean, like if my alarm goes up.
What's the concern?
Oh, because I was curious as to why Vaughn thought that they were fake cops. That's a really interesting thing to say. Like, why would you ever think that there would be fake cops? My concern was just that why is Vaughn saying that he thought that there was fake cops? Like that would be the least that's not something that would come right to my mind. What would come right to my mind is like, why are the cops at my house not fake cops? You know what I mean? That's just weird. I would never think to look at my security camera and see police officers and think to myself, oh, are these fake cops? Can you guys tell me if these are real cops? Like, that's just weird to me. So that's why I was curious as to why Vaughn thought that they were fake. And then when I read the report,
speculative to me.
Yeah, when I read the report, it said that there was no alarm and he didn't have an alarm. So I was just curious as to if like I don't have an alarm on my house, how would anybody ever come to my house to think that I was being burglarized? It just was a very awkward situation. That was my questioning in it. But now when you said the whole app thing, that piqued my interest because I had no idea that you can just have apps on your phone and that it's going to say, hey,
I haven't researched what they are, how they work. I just know we've been getting periodic calls that are automated to dispatch with very little information. And that's the source of it.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. That's why I put in the request. And then when I saw that your name was on it, I said, I'll just actually ask Sgt Hathaway. So that's why I left you a message because it was your report at 17:34 hours. So I was like, I'll just call him and give him a message and see if he knows. That was it.
No, sorry, I don't have more information for you, but hopefully that
Yeah, no, you did with the whole app thing. I'm going to look into that. That's interesting. That was it, though. Thank you so much for returning my call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
For you?
Yeah, no, that's it. That was, I appreciate you calling.
All right.
Okay. All right, you too. Now, he went from not being able to tell me anything because this was 11 months ago to then he started all of a sudden realizing that this was a training officer with a trainee. So this is an officer that's in the training program with an officer that's training. Wait, what? This is what you're training people to do? Wait, so I said, wow. And then I hear, wait a second. There's apps now. Well, we've always had apps for our stuff. I've had ADP and there's apps on my phone. And what it does is I get notified through my app on my phone when my house has been breached. Okay. So what he's saying is that these apps now, the apps are dispatching out and then we're going to areas where we don't know where these alarms are. Excuse me? No. That's not correct at all. And to make sure that I'm correct in saying this, let's just go ahead and call AEP, no. Security. ADT. Perfect. This is what trainees were doing. What the fuck is this? 24/7 alarm monitoring, security monitoring equipment, monitored fire, flood, and carbon monoxide, professional installation. Call. A question. They're just, we don't know if they go by the GPS. Hello? Remote arm and disarm from your app, from your smartphone. Smart home controls, touchscreen panel and mobile app access included. Customizable alerts, schedules, and video and smartphone. Let me tell you something. None of these companies would be in business if your phone, okay, you get notified from your phone when something like this happens at your house. Your phone doesn't dispatch to then come to where you are with your phone. If I'm in freaking Cleveland and my house gets broken into, they don't come where my phone is and say, hey, how can we help you? Like, what in the world are you talking about? That is, what do you mean apps are dispatch? What do you mean apps are contacting police? What in the world are you talking about? Okay. He knew exactly why I was calling. Okay. He clearly knew because he states that this officer was with another officer, both in the training. What? This is what you do, training? And I personally think that he tried to, what is this to do with? What is your concern? Well, my concern is why the hell anybody would ever think that that's fake cops. Well, I wouldn't ever call you and say, hey, bro, can you come on by and look at my cameras and can you tell me if these are fake cops or not? But I'm going to tell you why they thought they were fake cops. Because this dude doesn't have a fucking alarm on his house and he sees what they're doing and this is what they're doing. And is this protocol? And the answer is no, it's not. And that's why he thinks that it's fake cops, because no real cop would ever do this, right? Oh, but now we come to find out. So you're going to tell me that this was, so now the question is, now where my head goes is, was this a training? Was this a training, practice? And okay, we're going to have you guys, this is what you guys would do if you were sent out. So you have to use a real house. Don't you have places to go? Why don't you use the Scott Coomer's house to do your training exercises, where I thought that that's where they happened? Why would you be using citizens' houses to train? And what I asked I said, what is the name of the other officer? You clearly knew the other officer's name, and I'll get it because you had the report right there. You would have known who was working with that officer. So what he said is that, well, on the report, I could tell that is our training officer. So he was with another trainee. So your training officer was training. You understand that? So my question then is, which of these officers is the trainee? Is it this guy here? Or is it this guy here that shined the light and hit the camera? Because I bet this is the trainee at the door, and this guy that's standing back here is your actual officer. And the more I look at that photo right there, or this footage right here, the guy in the back, all right, that guy right there that's walking looks very similar to how to Hathaway. Not saying that it is Hathaway, but it's very similar in their light skin, fair skin. And so which one's the trainee and which one is the trainer officer? So I left my name. They know who I am, but to try to ask me what my concern is. Well, my concern is why somebody would ever call you guys up and say, are these fake cops? That should be concerning to you. That should be concerning to anybody as to why one of your citizens think that these are fake cops. And you want to know why? It was because of the behavior. It was because of what they were doing when they were there. It's very dangerous. But here, we just found out this morning that what we are witnessing here is a trainee and the trainer. This is what they're doing. So now, is this now way more valuable than we ever thought in terms of, I want to know I want to know what was dispatched at 3:14. Okay. I want to know where this came from. Still have not returned that yet. Still waiting as patiently as possible for that. I want the 3:14 report. I want to know how you were contacted for this, then follow up here at 3:30. At first I thought that it wasn't as sus either, but the guy has his flashlight out. This guy has his flashlight out. So to flash that you don't need to do anything. He has his flashlight out right there. Okay. He opens up the door. He has his flashlight. What do you think he's providing there? Extra light. He has a flashlight right in his hand. Okay. And he goes like this. Look at his wrist. Watch his wrist up. You can see the camera, At first, I didn't think it was a big deal at all. Exactly. Thought he was giving him extra light. The dude has a flashlight right there in his hand, and he's just walking around. But if somebody was being burglarized, or if somebody was in duress and they were in this home, I would hope that if a cop came to my house, that they would make sure that I was okay. And they didn't even try to see if this person inside was okay. And that's what I would want. I would want the cops to come and help me. And that's not what I see here. I see no alarm went off here. Then I ask about it. Now I come to find out that they're training. Somebody is training somebody. Okay, well, and I've just never heard of a security company dispatching somebody to an area because they don't know and where it would be. That doesn't make any sense. When I sign up my security company, it has my address attached to my alarm, and that's where it's being dispatched. So to say that you have in your report that we don't know that's for an unknown burglary security company, how is that possible? Because I know that I wouldn't want them as my security company. And so if you have a trainee and you're training somebody, wouldn't you be telling them what to be doing? Or would you just be watching to see how they handle themselves? And so you got to let him see what he would do on his own and say, all right, buddy, well, you totally failed. You didn't do this. I And I just can't imagine that you would be using civilian homes in the middle of the night to do training. And then when you actually go and see what they're claiming, it makes absolutely no sense. But it does. So is it like, did they think at first we're out doing a training exercise and then they realized, oh, this house has a camera. Oh, this one has a camera, so we're going to be on camera right now. Okay? You get what I'm trying to say? Like, we're out here doing a training, and then they come and realize that, oh shit, this house has a camera, so we're going to be on camera. And then this kid wakes up in the morning and is like, what the hell is going on here? Are these fake cops? Goes down, talks to the police, and says, no, there was a dispatch there. There was an unknown, you know. And then that's why now when I look at the report, and what sticks out to me is I asked, so then I called Vaughn back and I said, hey, you got to talk to about something. You went straight to the police, right, with your report at 10 o'clock in the morning. And he said, yeah. And then I waited there until they looked into it and then confirmed everything. And I said, how long did that take? And he said, not longer than, do you remember, were you there all day? He's like, oh no, like it was, I would say max an hour, not even. Okay. So then when I go ahead and I look at this, let me show you guys now. Now let's take a look at this. That is 5:34. So this report was written up after after Vaughn had been talked to at like 11 a.m. Then this report gets written up. So there hadn't even been a report yet written on this event. You guys understand that? Like, this was not written up until 5:34. And so, like, I'm waiting to see when they wrote up the report for the 314, like the 314 call, to see where it falls. It's all lies. They're all covering for they're just making mistakes. And let's see. And that's them walking away. But when I heard this app that, you know, and that's such a tight, dense area, I'm thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? Why would it go based off of my phone's GPS if my house is being burglarized? I could be out of town on vacation. You're going to come get me in the Bahamas where my phone is and not go to where my house is located. And then you know what they always do, guys? I know I get it all the time. They call me. They freaking call me and they say, hey, we just, they ask you about the alarm that went off. Like, so again, if this is what they're doing and this is how they're training people, yeah, we started getting apps that would send us stuff and they were just really inaccurate because they would just send us to an area. What? Who would ever have a company? What are you talking about? I'm dumbfounded here. I'm dumbfounded that. And then I said, well, can you just get back to me on who the officers were? Why? Because I want to know who are these dipshits. That's what I want to know. I want to know if you hired the guy. So no one disarmed the panel. Shouldn't the security alarm be screaming until it's turned off? Yeah, and that's the thing, is that there was no security. There was no alarm that went off. So it's like, what the hell are y'all doing? You know, that's why I've been waiting because I want to see what the 314 report is to say, because I asked Vaughn, I said, do you think that anybody could have called the cops and like gave your address for any reason for you to like be kind of like swatted in a way? You know what that is? And he's like, yeah, I know what that is. I was like, do you think that there's any reason for that? You know, and he said, I mean, I don't think so. So that's why it's like imperative to get the 3:14 a.m. report to see, in fact, what it says. What do these guys say in their report? This is what I've been waiting patiently for over a week, is just for them to answer what took place for this 3:14, you know, because then that's the other thing. The call goes out at 3:14 and they're not there until 3:30. That's 15 minutes. That's 15 minutes. And nothing's going on in the area and you can't get there for 15 minutes when the police station's a minute drive away. That's concerning. I'm going to bleed out if I had a gunshot wound. And then I want to know in the report, what other locations did they go to if in fact they didn't know where this alarm went off. So what other houses, residents did you go to? Like, what the and so here I am. All that it means when it says no report, guys, there's always a report. This is a report, okay? When it's saying like no report, it's on the night of with the sign, the night of the murders, okay? When they say a report, they wrote up that dude to be ticketed, okay? He stole the sign, okay, we're going to write you up, you have a court date. There's a report. That's what they're talking about as far as a report goes. To close out you're always going to have a narrative of when you responded to someplace, what happened, and then, you know, no report taken from that moment forward. So what this means is that there was no report to be made after going to this place, you know, just like the night of all the noise complaints. They arrived, they wrote everything that they did and said and wrote that all in the narrative for the dispatch, but there was nobody got in trouble. There was nothing additional. Now, if you go and check when I show stuff about that night, when the guy and the girl were walking and drinking and they cited the girl and didn't cite the guy, which is complete and other bullshit. They both had open containers. How do you cite the girl and not the guy? That would be one number. I wouldn't go to that school. I'd either be getting out of that ticket or that's sexist, that's biased, that's prejudice. Why didn't he get a ticket? Why would I get ticketed for an open container? Okay, and you're not going to sit here and tell me it's because I was underage. Open container, you can get it when you're 80. There's no open container is open container, you dipshits. He should be getting an open container just like how I did. with that girl when she got ticketed. There was a report that came after that because there was further activity. There was further action after them responding. So the whole no report, that's not what that means. People are taking that the wrong way. There's no action that took place past that point. That's all it means by no report. There's still going to be a report of them when they responded for the initial call, the dispatch. So what you need to pay attention to is what they're saying in these dispatches. And what I notice is after we've done all these requests, they started not being as detailed in their narratives. They started writing things that were very vague and ridiculous. So whatever. But I think it's important for us to understand that as far as when they say no report, you guys, that just means that nothing happened further. But this right here, they're past their 3 days to not even contact to say we need additional time. Or we can't give that out due to, and there's a couple different reasons, and then I could appeal it. But I haven't even been contacted to the point of acknowledging, and that's what you're supposed to do within your 3-day period. And so Moscow has not acknowledged this incident at 3:14. And it's very important to get the information from 3:14 at 3:14 a.m. to then see what these guys say they did and why they were dispatched and stuff like that. Because all we're going off of is what Hathaway, that was all speculation, what he wrote in that narrative. 100% speculation. Because all he did was pull up the call log. Okay, he looked at the log just to see was somebody dispatched. And the rest he just made up. So if you're just joining. If those were fake police officers, do you remember any of this?
I don't. Do you have the case number?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to look for my. Yeah, is that my phone? Can you just tell me I'll call them back if it's dinging? At about 3:30, and wanted to make sure that they were real cops. I checked the call log and confirmed Officer Flattery had responded to the area for an unknown burglary alarm being called in by the security company. But the issue is that there was no security company at that house. So and there was 2 officers. I was curious if you knew the other officer involved. And if you had the security company that sent in a dispatch.
Okay, so I'm not understanding what the question is.
Do you know the other officer that was sent there?
Right now, no.
Okay. And then do you know the security company that sent out this alarm? Because the 1118 house didn't have a security company alarm.
Yeah, I don't.
He's literally looking at the report when I'm talking to him. He's literally looking at the report, and he doesn't know who the 2 officers are.
No, I mean, this was 11 plus months ago.
Yeah. I was just wondering if So right there, he says he doesn't know if this was 11 plus months ago. So right there, if he was on the stand, he would have gotten blown up.
We started getting automated burglary alarm calls to dispatch. That there's apps now that you can buy that it's not like ADT or something that has an alarm company set up on the house, and we just start getting these alarms that give us an address, and it's pretty hard to isolate.
They come from your phone now?
That's what we've experienced. So far, I haven't seen it be effective because it doesn't give you enough information to know what you're even responding to. So,
holy crap.
Officers do their best. We go out and it says.
So I let him go on this little rant about these apps, which I know in my head, I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? It doesn't matter that an app would dispatch you. It would still have the address of where the person who bought the security system, wherever their security system was, and when it was breached, it would still have that address. It doesn't use your phone to say, oh, come find me while I'm like, what? So listen to this shit.
It's in this area or at this address, and most of the time nobody knows what's going on or why there's an alarm. And then sometimes we find somebody who goes, oh, yeah, I got this app and it does this thing, but I don't know why you got called. And so I haven't seen it be effective. I don't know if that's what this was in this case because it was so long ago, but I do recall vaguely looking up to see if we had officers responding to the area.
Now he remembers vaguely. So before, that was like over 11 and a half months ago. Now, listen.
I got this app and it does this thing, but I don't know why you got called. And so I haven't seen it be effective. I don't know if that's what this was in this case because it was so long ago, but I do recall vaguely looking up to see if we had officers responding to the area that day at that time, and we did, but that's all I know.
Okay. Wow. You hear how he said, but that's all that I know. I just looked it up to see if we had, in fact, officers responding to that area, and we did. But he doesn't know what they were responding for or anything like that. If anybody was to look at this, you'd be like, what are they doing? Wait, you don't have an alarm? Wait, what? Vaughn said he had no alarm company, therefore he had no app. Correct. This wasn't like, and I started saying that to him.
Okay, I didn't even know about these apps. So like, because like I have like.
So then I tried to get him to start talking about these apps so I could hear what the hell he's even talking about.
So if I have like a Blink or like a Ring, or like I don't even know what I have Safeguard as well. How does my app send it out? Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's based
Now, if you've been dealing with something, wouldn't you know how that works? I can't imagine me as a police officer being sent somewhere and I realized that, wait a second, when I got there, then I hear something about, oh, this app sent you over here. I would be saying, okay, what is this app? What do you mean? Who is this through? Okay. As a police officer, you ask a bunch of questions, like to understand what it is that you're responding to and why. And if this keeps on happening, there's clearly a problem. And we need to talk to this company to say that your product is sending us on these wild goose chases in the middle of the night. That's how you would do that, no?
on the GPS location of the phone.
Like a Ring, or like I don't even know what I have Safeguard as well. How does my app send it out? Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's based on the GPS location of the phone, which is, in a heavily, like a dense population area. If that's the case, we're going to get sent to a radius, which would explain why officers.
You see how he just tried to gaslight me there? He tried to gaslight me there, and I let him do it. He literally tried to just gaslight me. Listen to what he says. I gave you guys the first go around, have your own opinions. Now it's Lana. I'm going to tell you what truly took place in this phone call, which was right here, Officer Hathaway tries to gaslight me.
Oh, do you know anything about that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's based on the GPS location of the phone, which is, in a heavily, like a dense population area. If that's the case, we're going to get sent.
He uses the word GPS. He says if it's off of the GPS, we're going to get sent to a radius. That is a fucking lie. GPS? No. Triangulation of towers sends you to a fucking radius. GPS, GP motherfucking S is GP motherfucking S, okay? It will send you right to where my phone is. But let me ask you this. Why would it send you to where my phone is? It should be sending you to the address of where I actually have that product on. GPS pinpoints you, yes, within feet, okay? Yes. He wants to say that GPS is a radius. Are you out of your fucking mind? You think I believe? Say this on the stand. So this is going to the Idaho4 case when we want to talk about Brian Kohlberger's car. We want to talk about Brian Kohlberger. Like, so let me get this straight. Y'all think GPS means a radius now, and that the cell towers is more accurate. Probably that's how it works in this town. It doesn't matter. My phone has nothing to do with this. It does not matter how you were sent the alert. If it came from the app on my phone, it's still sending you to the address of where the product is located. I don't have the product on my phone to protect me from being burglarized. Okay? That makes absolutely no sense. And in fact, anybody that would literally, I feel bad because there's people that call up and ask these type of questions and they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. Oh, now it makes sense to me. No, listen to my response. My response is anything but that.
To a radius, which would
Send it out. Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's based on the GPS location of the phone, which is, you know, in a heavily, like a dense population area. If that's the case, we're going to get sent to a radius, which would explain why officers were walking up to a house that had nothing to do with them.
Which is, listen to this. Listen to this now. Now all of a sudden he throws in there, which is why officers would be walking up to a house. I didn't say that. He says that he doesn't remember any of that. Remember? This was 11 months ago. He doesn't know the specifics of this phone call. Now all of a sudden he talks about the specifics of this event, which is the officers walking up to the house. I thought he didn't recall any of this. Look at right there, officers walking up. And this would explain why the officers were walking up. Motherfucker, you said you didn't recall any of this. Now you know exactly what transpired. Because remember, he didn't see any of this. He was just going off of the call logs.
Or whatever the alarm was.
Okay.
Sometimes we just go out to a call, which is, you know, in a heavily, like a dense population area. If that's the case, we're going to get sent to a radius, which would explain why officers were walking up to a house that had nothing to do with whatever the alarm was.
Okay.
Sometimes we just go out to a call and we look around and we listen, and if we don't see or hear anything, there's nothing for us to do, so we clear.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is all speculation because, I mean, I wasn't there to.
But this is all speculation because I wasn't there. Well, no shit. You were asked to investigate it. I never said that you were there, or were you there, or is that you in the background? We don't know because I asked who the two police officers were. But the whole point is that you were asked to investigate this because a guy named Vaughn, came to the police department and he said, are these fake cops? That's how I started this whole conversation, which is, why would this dude, Vaughn, think when he woke up in the morning that these were fake cops? Why wouldn't he just be like, why are the cops at my house? Right? No, he said, are these fake cops? Because everything that took place on all of these cameras, nothing seemed legit at all. Like, what they're trying to get into my house. They're trying to open up a door, no gloves, not making themselves known. So here, this is the cop that Hathaway was at. Can you tell me if these are real cops or fake cops? Well, let me go ahead and just see if anybody was dispatched to the area. Well, at 3:14, there was an alarm, a burglary alarm, but we had no address or anything on it. The fuck are you talking about? So you were supposed to look into it. So when he says that I don't know, this is all speculation. No, actually, you should know. Your report that I'm asking you about should have had what exactly everything that happened here. All you confirmed in your log is you looked at the log and you saw that at 3:14, there was an alarm dispatch.
11 months ago.
Okay.
Go out to a call and we look around and we listen, and if we don't see or hear anything, there's nothing for us to do, so we're going to.
This is what he says, that we go out to an area, we look around, we listen. If we don't see or hear anything, we clear. Okay, you go out to an area, you look around, you listen. Well, do you do this? Try to open up people's doors?
Send it out. Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know if it's based on the GPS location of the phone, which is, you know, in a heavily, like a dense population area. If that's the case, we're going to get sent to a radius, which would explain why officers were walking up to a house that had nothing to do with whatever the alarm was.
Okay.
Sometimes we just go out to a call and we look around and we listen, and if we don't see or hear anything, there's nothing for us to do, so we clear.
That's not what happened.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is all speculation because, I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't there too. This was 11 months ago.
Okay.
See, that's the whole point right there. But this is all speculation because this was 11 months ago and I wasn't there. No shit, Sherlock. I am asking you about your investigation on this incident that you should know. That is what you were asked to do with the report that I'm asking about, which was, that's why I called you to say, this is what you wrote up. You know, can you tell me who the two officers were? And can you tell me what the security company was that sent out this alarm? And neither one of those were answered. To this day, neither one of those are answered. So your job is not to speculate. Your job is to get to the bottom of why Vaughn came to you and asked you what the fuck was going on in my house. Are these real cops? What the hell? This is not protocol. It looks like they're breaking and entering. It looks like they're trying to trespass, or they are trespassing. But what's going on here? Can you tell me if they're fake cops and what happened here? And then based on Vaughn going to the police, then that launched a new incident. And then you were supposed to then investigate this. And that's what should have been in your fucking narrative. Your report was, I talked to this guy. I talked to that guy. These are their names. I called them up. I asked them. You didn't write up your report, Hathaway, until 5:34 p.m. You talked to Vaughn at 10 a.m. You look into it. You then write it all up, right? So when you say you would have been speculating, well, that means that you didn't do your job then, because there was no need to speculate. You go and you investigate and you find out what the fuck happened, because that's what you do. You have to answer to the citizens of Moscow and that live there, and that's your protect and serve. Then you go call him back, or you talk to him and you say, this is what happened. This is why he was there. This is this is that, this is this. You don't tell the kid, hey, I did the call logs. Yep, there was an alarm thing that got dispatched, and that's why they were there. Have a good day. And he's like, I don't have an alarm. Okay.
Is there any way, if you can give me just a call back, if you could find out who the other officer was that responded?
What is your involvement with the call? That's part of the issue here too.
But I didn't realize it was an issue.
Public records request, but I can't dig into our database and release it. But
wait, do you guys understand that now you made it so that I want to know who that other officer was? By you just saying it's right there on the piece of paper, right? I'm asking, that question triggered him to say, what do you want that information for? Well, to be quite frank, you fucking didn't do the job right. So I think that you guys should know who the fuck is. Have you seen what they did? But he says that's what triggered him to say, wait, back up. That's the issue here. I can't just go into the database and divulge a bunch of information. It is public. Like, this isn't, I'm asking you for something that is not public. This would be public information for me to request this and be given this. So the question again is, who were the two officers? He had a problem with giving up who the other officer was. And I'm just curious. Is it because it was you? Is it because it was one of your friends? I would just look at my report and see, all right, let me see who was dispatched there. Because he said it was the trainer with the trainee. Well, who's your training officer? You know damn well who the training officer is. So you said it in the beginning of our phone call. So who is the trainer of this trainee? Then here you go. Well, your trainer is blowing chunks.
Information to somebody over the phone that.
Oh Oh yeah, no, I'll just put another request. It was just that you, in your report, it was just saying that there was 2 officers, but only 1 officer was on the report. So I was just curious of who the other officer
The
was.
officer that was listed in that report was in the training program, which means he would have a training officer with him.
Okay.
Exactly. So then give it to me.
Alrighty.
So you're dealing with 2 trainees or
And that's interesting about the whole app thing. That was my only question is just the officer, like there was 2 officers, but there was only 1 officer named. And then just the fact that there was no, I mean, like if my alarm goes up.
What's the concern?
Oh, because
he said, what's the concern? He's like, what's the problem? Basically, what's the concern? Why is this a big deal? Listen, he's like, what's the concern? And that's where I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's play ball.
I was curious as to why Vaughn thought that they were fake cops.
That's the concern right there. The concern is, why would somebody come to you saying, are these fake cops? What I've never heard of somebody ever calling me and saying, Lana, look at my Ring camera. I think there was fake cops at my house last night trying to get in. Like, what? Why wouldn't I just think that they were real cops? What are the cops doing at my house versus, are these fake cops? That's the concern as to why one of your citizens would think that these are fake cops and come to find out they aren't fake cops. They're real cops. Why did he think they were fake though? That is what my concern is. My concern is why a 21-year-old would ever think that these were fake cops. Is that something that's going on in your area that people are under the impression that people are dressing up as police officers? That's concerning. That's the issue. That's my problem. Nobody would ever wake up in the morning, look at their Ring because it had notifications because they were sleeping at 3:30, and then say to themselves, oh my God, are these real cops? They would say to themselves, oh my God, why are the cops here? Why were the cops at my house trying to get into my house? They wouldn't say the word fake before they say cops. You understand that? That's the concern. And you seem to think that this is not a fucking big deal at all, but yet won't give me the name of the 2 officers. Well, the one we have. But it's fine. I'll get it. I already put the request and I've been waiting for you people to give it to me for over a fucking week. Why can't you give up the 3:14 a.m. fucking report that led to this 3:30 invasion? Because I have no idea what looking and seeing if the door is unlocked. Explain to me, even if it was unlocked, what the fuck would it matter? Is there forced entry? Is there probable cause to see that there was forced entry and that somebody used a crowbar to get in? So even if it was unlocked, what the fuck were you going to do next? Go in? Or just say to yourselves, well, the door's unlocked. Hey, look at this. I'm going to open up this door and I'm going to see if I can turn it and get in. For what purpose then? That doesn't make sense. You can maybe look and see if there was, it doesn't look like it's been, like there's no sign of forced entry. That's what you would do. But now you just made it really extra sus that you're inquiring why the fuck I'm inquiring. When you run your mouth and you say too much, because now you're talking about an app and you're talking about GPS sends you to a radius. These cops are going to get drilled and owned on the stand if Ann Taylor can do her job 1 ounce. 1 fucking ounce. And so that's my question is Ann Taylor a good litigator? Is Ann Taylor going to be able to handle the gaslighting? And the only way that you can handle the gaslighting, because that's called lying, is if you can get them to say something and then have the evidence, because you know the case so well, to then present them with, okay, here's your material to impeach them. And the only way you can do that is to know this case. In any case you go and you litigate, you have to know your case inside and out, because you never know what somebody is going to say on the stand. Okay. And let me tell you what you can't prepare for. You can't prepare for what someone's going to say, because you can't prove a negative, right? You can't prove something that didn't happen, right? But you can prove what actually did happen, and it doesn't match what they're saying, right? But you have to know the case inside and out. And this guy straight up tried to gaslight me on this situation that I was very, very in tune with and knew the ins and outs with, because I went and talked to, Vaughn, and I went and studied this, the material here. Then I was looking at all the past, reports that I've asked for and reviewing that stuff. And no, this doesn't make any fucking sense. And then to talk about apps and GPS like the way he was, what the hell are you talking about? That's his definition of what GPS is, that it's a radius.
That's a really interesting thing to say. Like, why would you ever think that there would be fake cops?
I don't gaslight him. I tell him exactly why I'm calling. I have nothing to lie about, hide about. I'm legit wondering why in the world a 21-year-old would think that these are fake motherfucking cops versus just real cops that are, what are they doing, My
concern was just that why is Vaughn saying that he thought that there was fake cops? Like, that would be the least of that. That's not something that would come right to my mind. What would come right to my mind is like, why are the cops at my house not fake cops? You know what I mean? That's just weird. I would never think to look at my security camera and see police officers and think to myself, oh, are these fake cops? Can you guys tell me if these are real cops? Like, that's just weird to me. So that's why I was curious as to why Vaughn thought that they were fake. And then when
do you hear that moment of silence? Like when it's like that deafening, like no one wants to say, I'm going to start getting way better at leaving the silence speak for itself, because you don't have an answer for that. But I want to emphasize that. So I'm not even going to bother. Like, I'm going to let it be silent.
Think to myself, oh, are these fake cops? Can you guys tell me if these are real cops? Like, that's just weird to me. So that's why I was curious as to why Vaughn thought that they were fake. And then when I read the report,
speculative to me.
Yeah, when I read,
you said that's speculative to me. No, you idiot. Of course it's speculative that it's, but why would that be his first fucking thought? And then the reasoning is because of what they did while they were there. That's why he's thinking that they're fake, because these are untrained fucking cops, because this is not protocol. That's why he thinks they're fake.
fake cops. Can you guys tell me if these are real cops? Like, that's just weird to me. So that's why I was curious as to why Vaughn thought that they were fake. And then when I read the report,
speculative to me.
Yeah, when I read the report, it said that there was no alarm and he didn't have an alarm. So I was just curious as to if, like, I don't have an alarm on my house, how would anybody ever come to my house to think that I was being burglarized? It just was a very awkward situation. That was my questioning in it. But now
you hear all that silence? You guys hear all that silence? I don't think that's weird at all. Did he say, I don't think that's weird at all? Did he say, yeah, you know what, that does sound weird? Nope. He just doesn't say shit. You know why? Because I just handed you a big fucking bag of dicks. Because I would say to myself, well, yeah, actually, yeah, why would you think that? Well, that's speculation. Why is he speculating that? You can be speculating a ton of things. That's what he speculated, was that these were fake cops. I'm like, yeah, really? Why did he think they were fake cops? You know, like, it's just a head scratcher. Like,
when you said the whole app thing, that piqued my interest because I had no idea that you can just have.
And this is me wanting him to go back to the app talk. Oh yeah, that piqued my interest.
Apps on your phone, and that it's going to say, hey,
I haven't researched what they are, how they work. I just know we've been getting periodic calls
yeah,
that are automated to dispatch with very very little.
So he has no idea what these apps, but they've been getting periodic calls about these apps, yet he has done absolutely no research on these apps that are sending his officers and himself or other people. No one's done any research on these apps that are sending you to random places for you to do this. What are you talking about? That is your job.
Information, and that's the source of it.
Okay. Yeah, that was.
Wait, listen.
I haven't researched what they are, how they work. I just know we've been getting periodic calls.
Yeah.
That are automated to dispatch with very little information, and that's the source of it.
Okay.
And that was the source of it. And that was the source of it. Then he just goes and he divulges this, that was the source of this, what we're seeing here. He's now saying that there was an app that was the source of this. Thank you. So there was an app that sent this 314. So are you sure that you guys aren't just doing that yourselves on your end to then have, then you're able to go off and do this? And you say, oh, an app came in that dispatched us. That makes absolutely no fucking sense. And is that then putting you guys in a situation that you guys can say, oh, let's go to dispatch to this area because we got this random call in from some app that said that there's a burglary in progress. What? But guess what? Then now it's reasonable to say you're saying the source of this is from this app for this call, which at first you couldn't fucking remember dick about. Now, oh yeah, that was one of those apps that was the source of this. Okay, this app had to originate from somewhere. It's a number. Or what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? This app? What app? What are you speaking about? Do you guys understand that this makes no sense? Do you guys understand this is not accurate? We understand that, right? So now we have to get to the bottom of what apps have the capability to contact. So think about this now. Now go out there and find out, guys, what apps that a security company offers that the app automatically contacts the police department, but doesn't say what? It just goes to where your phone's at? What the fuck are you talking about? I could be on vacation and my phone is with me and I'm in the Bahamas, but I live here and someone's trying to break in. Are you going to send people to the Bahamas? Because that's where my phone's at? That's where this app came from? What are you speaking about? So now let's really truly go back to the day of the murders and then how everything happened with the 911 call and why is all of this secrecy around this 911 call? Because apps can just send you places, right? So maybe an app just sent the cops over there for a suspicious, it was a suspicious circumstances. So we went over there because this app sent us there. This is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. What the fuck are you guys talking about? And there's people that believe this shit.
Yeah, that was it. That's how that's why I put in the request. And then when I saw that your name was on it, I said, I'll just actually ask Sgt Hathaway. So that's why I left you a message because it was your report at 17:34 hours. So I was like, I'll just call him and give him a message and see if he knows.
The best part about this is that he called me, I didn't call him. He called me back. And this was me, boom, in the middle of literally getting up this morning. He called me at 7:13 his time a.m. trying to catch me off guard. You can't catch a watchdog off guard, man. As soon as I saw that it was a unknown call. Those are cop calls. I said, let's do it. I bet you this is Hathaway. Sure as shizzle. Hathaway calling me at 7:13 a.m. Flew down here, hit my record, and said, let's do this. What's up? Yeah, I'm looking for a report. Can you give me some information on this? Because that's what you're allowed to do. We got some issues here. That was it.
I'm sorry, I don't have more information.
Hathaway. So that's why I left you a message, because it was your report at 17:34 hours. So I was like, I'll just call him and give him a message and see if he knows. See that silence? That silence. That was it.
I'm sorry, I don't have more information for you, but hopefully that helps
Yeah.
a little.
No, oh, yeah. You did with the whole app thing. I'm going to look into that. That's interesting. Yeah, you definitely helped me out there. I'm going to look into this whole app thing. And we're going to look into this whole app thing. Now, last night, I was able to find out that this area in northern Idaho, when 911 calls come in, they tell you the tower, obviously, that it goes to. Got that. So Jennifer Drake was in Sandpoint when she called 911 for her husband that she was on the phone with when he was shot. And I want you guys to see why this is crucial. This is a Brady violation. I uncovered last night in real time a fucking Brady violation. Do you guys understand how big that is for somebody that's trying to fight for their innocence? Okay, I uncover a Brady violation last night on my live broadcast. And why it's important is because we're talking about the Brady Giglio that came out in the Idaho4 case, right? Well, I uncover a Brady violation last night with ISP, the same division that is part of the investigation into the Idaho4, okay? And the reason it's important is because you got an innocent man that was accused of murder, and you have the wife of the guy that he was accused of killing going out and telling the world that they know who did it and they just need more evidence. So please come forward. So they asked the public, this wife asked the public for help. Well, I looked into it and it's a $10,000 reward. All right. And I'm going to now submit my tip for my $10,000 that I want in all stripper fucking ones, is that your 911 caller claimed that she was, I'm going to play her own words, claimed that she was in Hayden, which is right there in Coeur d'Alene, that she was in Hayden sitting on the couch with her daughter when she was on the phone with her husband and her husband was shot. And then she had a call, and it was the most, it's a memory she will never forget, with her daughter there. And then she has to call the police, and that she was in Hayden, in right there where, Coeur d'Alene is, right where, Kaylee's parents are, where they grew up. Kaylee and Maddie grew up. So, well, I call the Bonner County Dispatch last night. Okay. And on my live broadcast last night, they claimed that this call originated in Kootenai County Dispatch. Okay. Kootenai County, which is Coeur d'Alene. I want you guys to see this. This is Tina with What the Fuck Translation Services. Let me go ahead and do this for you. Hector, come on, show me what you're made of. Show me why I pay you the big bucks, Hector. All right. You like that stripper one? Figured you guys like it. Take a look. Okay. This is the direct examination by Tevis Hall, the prosecutor. Okay. This is the direct examination of Jennifer Drake, the wife. Okay. And did you have a phone conversation with him on March 12th? Yep. Where and what? Where was he at when you had this phone conversation? He was in his Bonner's Ferry office. And what time was that phone call? Well, I called him first at 6:42. He was finishing up with a patient and asked if he could call me back. So we hung up. He called me back at approximately 7:17. Ready? If you could just answer the question, they object to it. Okay. What did you talk to him about? I was talking to him about the children, about the fact that some of their things had been canceled due to COVID. Okay. And how his day was. And it was due to what? That it was due to COVID. Okay. And can you tell me what was said during that time or what time was terminated? Near the end, Your Honor, I'm going to object. It calls for hearsay. Overruled. Near the end of our conversation, we were just finishing up to say goodbye, and he yelled very loudly, an agonizing yell, and he yelled, I said, what? I said, what's wrong? He yelled again. He said, I think I've been hit. I think something hit me. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, for a second, he said, I thought somebody shot me through the window. That's when I realized my next question was, where did it hit? Did he respond to that? He said, I think it hit me in the side. That was it. The phone went dead. It went black. I yelled for him, called for him. It was a moment that I thought I either need to terminate this phone call and I need to call 911. And that's what I did. When you called 911, which county were you dispatched to or directed to in that 911 call? It went straight to Coeur d'Alene or Hayden, the Kootenai County. You guys see that? Boom. They then transferred me to Bonners County, who then transferred me to Boundary County. This is a fucking lie. And the prosecutor knew it. The prosecutor put her on the stand, knew she was going to testify in this capacity, knew this is what she was testifying to. This is the preliminary hearing. Okay, and did your husband return? No, I tried him, but he didn't answer. Do you see this? It went straight to Coeur d'Alene or Hayden, because that's the area. It's the Kootenai County dispatch. See that? Now, Your Honor, I'm going to object to asking about how many kids she has. I thought this was about authenticating the 911 call sustained. I don't have any further questions, Your Honor. Cross-examination. I don't usually offer to give the prosecutor more time, but I didn't hear a time in that testimony. Did I miss something? She said the conversation started at 6:52 or 42, lasted 9 minutes. Okay. No. And then she had to call him back. Okay. And I'll just ask, basically, she says, right? Now, last night I called. Well, first of all, I do a records request for the Kootenai County Dispatch 911 from 7 to 8 p.m. And it came back with negative results. I got every single 911 call, every single report that went with it. It was 47 pages from 7 to 8 p.m. Now, I said, holy shit, this bee was not on her couch sitting next to her daughter, because I already figured out that her daughter was with her friend and she wasn't by her mom when this happened. She wasn't with her. But I wanted to go one step further, which was to prove that, in fact, where Bonner's Ferry is and where Hayden is an hour and a half. But in between it, is Sandpoint. And Sandpoint is located in Bonner County. There's Kootenai County, which is where Coeur d'Alene is. And then Sandpoint is in Bonner County. And then where Bonner's Ferry is, that is located in Boundary County. So what Jennifer Drake says happened is that she was at home in Hayden when she called 911. It went from Kootenai County dispatch to then Bonner County and then Bonner to Boundary. That'd be 2 transfers. Well, number 1, I got the Kootenai records. Kootenai County records came back. No 911 between 7 and 8. Perfect. Now I said, well, I want the Bonner County ones, and that would be the Sandpoint area, which is 45 minutes away from both points because it's in the middle. Last night, I made a phone call on my live. I'm going to play it here. Her phone records show that she didn't call 911. I've already showed that. Her phone does not call 911. Again, Jennifer Drake's phone records, I've already showed. Her phone never calls 911. Doesn't call any emergency number, doesn't call any dispatch number. No 911. So that was the issue with why she's on the stand and not just saying what time she called 911. What time did you call 911? Oh, well, because her cell phone didn't call 911. So either a burner called 911 or a different phone number called 911. But so I said, I'll just get it myself. So then this is what I do. I realized when I watched the cross-examination first, I'll show you this. So first of all, good morning, Ms. Drake. Good morning. And just so you know, the record is established and need to speak clearly into the microphone. Great. Okay. So I want to clarify a couple things. You said you were on the phone with your husband and you called about 6:42 p.m. Isn't that correct? Yes. Okay. Then, okay. When you called, how was it that you knew, that it was 6:42? Because I have a record on my phone of exactly when was called. So your phone record recorded the outgoing call to your husband, you said, at 6:42, and he couldn't talk to you at that point because, right? And she says, right. That was because he had some patients there, right? Yes. Okay. And then he called you back, you said at 7:17 p.m. Yes, ma'am. All right. And you know that, again, because it was recorded on your cell phone, what time he called you back, right? Yes. Okay. Okay. And you talked to him from the time he called at 7:17 for 9 minutes. Is that your testimony? 9 minutes and 15 seconds to be exact. Okay. And that was also recorded on your phone, the record of that call. Yes. And so I thought that the lawyer was going to nail it here and say, well, where was your 911 call? Okay, ready? So, okay. And that was also recorded, yes. And when you spoke to him on the phone, you told us several things he said. That he said, I think I've been hit. I think somebody hit me. I think somebody just shot me through the window. Is that correct? Yes. Did he tell you who it was? No. So I'm like, oh God, she's missing the plot here. She's missing the plot. Okay. Then did he give you any idea of who it was that shot him? He only said the words that I just repeated. Okay. Hold on a second. This is my... Hello? Hi. Okay, you're there? Okay, yep. I'm on a live broadcast, so but I can put it on speaker if I have to tell them what I'm looking for. Okay. All right, let them know that I talked to Tiffany. Okay.
Not able to make it. She's sick.
Give him that. Give him that number.
It's a number 6303. Yeah, my notes are all crazy. Took it off. Yes.
I did it last night.
Yeah, it was last night. Yeah. Well, I don't even know where that is.
Okay. Ask her if we can. Ask her if we did it wrong. Okay.
Okay. They're going to see what they can find out, so I'll just give you a call back. Could take a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Just give him that. Give him that call number, and then.
I did.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. And then just call me back.
What's that? Lana or Rihanna?
She was. Yeah. Tell them, make sure that they know that Tiffany was really kind. And. Okay. Yeah. And that she was really helpful. Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. Excuse me. All right. Now. All right, the Mr. Can you stop? Okay. He only said the words. Okay, Your Honor, I think for the purposes of just the authentication of that 911 tape, which she was called for, we have no further questions today. Right here, my heart sank. My heart sank when I read this. I said, what the fuck is she talking about? We have no further questions. I said, why aren't you asked? You just asked. You have a recording. You know what time you called. You called him at 6:42. He called you at 7:17. And then why aren't you asking? Now, you said you called 911. How do you know what time you called 911? Is it on your phone? Why wasn't that there? What do you mean no more further questions? What the fuck are you talking about? No more further questions. I lost my shit when I read this because I thought that she was lining it up perfectly. And then you say no more for what? So then I said, what in the hell is going on around here? So just so you guys can see that that's where I said, okay, holy shit. Whoa. And now I go and get the requests. There was no 911 call to Kootenai County. Then I said, oh my God, Bonner County. We need Bonner County. Bonner County. So what do? Call them up. I do a report, but I also called them up last night because this is a Brady violation. I caught a Brady violation last night. And let me share with you guys last night. Couldn't even get Let's see. So then I do this, and I'm just going to play it. You guys can hear it. Oh, shoot. I got to take that off of this. Tower now. Did it hit off of the original 911 call? Yes, but I was asking for him just to follow up with him on.
Okay, perfect. I'll send him a message, and when next time he's on duty, he'll get in contact with you, okay?
Okay, great. That sounds great. Thank you. Bonners. Awesome. Where you been? Oh yes, hi. Hi Tiffany. I have a question. I need to get some dispatch records of a 911 call and the transcripts of it.
You'll have to call the Monterey Sheriff's Office front office during their business hours. So tomorrow.
Okay.
I can give you that phone for one-on-one second for me.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready for that phone number.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. There, the sheriff's office phone number is 208-263-8417. I'm gonna have an extension for you. Hold on.
638417. And then you said you had an extension or?
Nope. Just call that and just tell me you need to do a public records request.
Okay, so like maybe I should.
You'll be able to do a public records request on there, and they'll be able to answer all those questions for
Okay.
you.
If I had to go into the building, where do you recommend that I go into?
So the front office of Bonner County, is it a gambling call or is it Bonner County Sheriff's Office?
It would be like if I was traveling, I called 911, and like where would that go? Does it go to you guys?
Well, we dispatch for both, but there are two different stations. So when you were traveling, were you in the county or were you in city limits?
Hello. Yeah, this is her.
Okay. To figure out your records request. So what has been done on it?
It was supposed to be the that call number that. Did she give that to you?
Yeah. The
Okay, yeah.
there.
And it was.
Fill out any request paperwork for a records request now?
Yes, I actually did a couple different ones, and then I hadn't gotten anything back. And I know sometimes you guys put them in the mail.
Where'd you turn that into at?
It was online.
You did it online?
That's correct.
So you did it online, submitted it to the Bonner County Sheriff's Office?
Yep, I did Boundary, I did Bonner, and I did Kootenai County. So I had to do all three because.
When did you submit it online to Bonner County?
Let me get you the date. It was, I started doing these over the past like 2 months.
Where'd you return ours to at?
It said that you guys usually send them out via mail, not via email. Cause like,
No, where did you send out your request into at?
Oh, it was just an online form.
County records.
Yeah, it was
on
an
our website.
It was an online form. So I mean, when I say like,
you sent it back in through our website?
yeah, I just went straight through the online form for both, except for the one. I don't know if it was Boundary or you guys that I had to like. We wrote it. We like printed it off, and we put it through the mail.
Oh, you mailed it in to us?
I've done it every which way. No, it's fine. I've just done it every which way. So I figured that I was like, you know what? Since I haven't gotten it, I'll just actually, because when I talked to Tiffany last night, she's like, yeah, if you can come up there or send somebody. So I just was like, I'm just going to send somebody so we can get this all handled the proper way if we did it wrong or if.
How do you spell your last name, ma'am?
Oriani, O-R-I-A-N-I.
Okay, O-R-I.
Mm-hmm.
So O-R-I.
Yep, A-N-I.
A-N-I. And L-A-N-A?
Yep. Do you need my firstborn too? I'm just kidding. I feel like when we fill out all these forms, it's like 21 questions. I get it though.
You've called our sheriff's office before here in Bonner County?
I just call the number that's on their guys' website when I like Google it and it just pops up. However, I called Tiffany last night. That's the number I call. Like the 3151. Is that you guys? Or like I said, I've been calling Kootenai County, Bonner.
You've had cases with us before?
Yes. Yes. I started making my requests in July. Now they may be under my like names of like people that work for me, so I don't know if I can give you some of those names if that, but I definitely have had my stuff in as well, so it should be there.
Name again for me. I'm just trying to find it in our system. I'm not having any luck.
Okay. It's ORIANI.
And your first name on your driver's license is Lana.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. And so maybe it makes sense as to like, if you can't even find me, that's why maybe I'm not getting them. What was that?
Requesting information on
Oh yeah,
cases?
yeah. It was just
Or
one.
names of
It was, I gave the 911 number, like the call number for it. And then I gave to Kootenai County, I gave them the,
who's the name of the person up here you're trying to get information on?
it was on a call. It was a call that was made by Jennifer Drake.
How do you spell her last name?
Drake.
One moment, man. Let me check.
Okay. And I can give you the the date and the time. Yeah, while we're at it, can I also put in for the Darcy Smith 911 call? It was an alleged suicide. We are still here. I'm on hold. I muted them. They mute me. I mute them. Okay. So she says that she was at home sitting on her couch when she made this call. Incorrect. Her cell phone hit off of a tower that was in Sandpoint when she made this alleged call. And it wasn't from her cell phone. It was from another phone. Okay. Because she either used her girlfriend's Amber's phone or she used a burner phone. I don't give a fuck what phone she used. I am proving that she was not sitting on her couch in Hayden. And I'm also proving that they wrote that in the PCA, the probable cause to arrest Dr. Daniel Moore, which is a violation of that man's, you lied in a probable cause affidavit knowing that she was not sitting at home when she called 911. She was in Sandpoint, 45 minutes away, not an hour and a half away. And you guys are saying that this happened, this call or the time of the crime happened because of the person, Jennifer Drake, telling you that. Well, that goes out the fucking window when Jennifer Drake is proven to be a liar right here that she was not in Hayden. And in fact, the tower that the 911 call came in off of was in Sandpoint. That's what I'm proving. That's what I have. This is 100% exculpatory. This is a Brady violation because they fucking knew it and they hid it. And that's why they pulled from the records the 911 call from the probable call. When they had the preliminary hearing, they had only 2 exhibits. And at the end, I've never seen a district attorney say, Your Honor, we want to take away a submitted piece of evidence. Why? Oh, because if that stayed on the record, it would be proven then even more so what you used in a preliminary hearing. So right here, have you ever seen this happen before? When a prosecutor says, back on the record, court, all right, then we're back on the record. Mr. Hall, before we took our brief recess, I think the question was to you whether the state had any further evidence to offer. No, Your Honor. The clerk did advise me we're still looking for Exhibit 2, which is the phone call, the 911 call. Have we located that? Your Honor, the state is going to withdraw Exhibit 2. It's being withdrawn? Question mark? Yes. The 911 call was withdrawn after it was used during the proceeding. Have you ever seen something more fucked up in your life? I know I have not. And I said they took this out because it was not from Kootenai County. It originated in a completely different area. And in the probable cause affidavit, the first sentence says, Jennifer Drake was at her home in Hayden when she called 911. Bullshit. Jennifer Drake, when she called 911, was in Bonner County. And I know her location now. She was by the Walmart tower because it was given to me last night by one of the kindest people named Tiffany. Tiffany, if I ever get this money, I will be breaking you off 10%. I will be personally handing you $1,000 if I'm allowed to, if that's legal. I would like to give it to you, Tiffany, for not lying and being truthful. He still has me on hold. Back on the record here. We're going to just go ahead and withdraw our second piece, our 911 call. What? Why? Well, because we really gave you guys a false 911 call. And if this was to ever continue on, we're all going down in flames. Well, you're all going down in flames regardless. Okay. Because this is your prosecutor. He knew that she was not in Kootenai County when she made that 911 call. And he questioned her, and she committed perjury. And she said that it was dispatched to Kootenai County, then to Bonner, then to Boundary. There was only one patch through. Okay. Okay. And it was because she was in Sandpoint. She was in Sandpoint when she first called 911. She wasn't sitting on her couch. She wasn't with her daughter. She was, in fact, with a friend either named Amber, or Amber and Spencer were covering for her. Spencer and Amber, they run the church. Amber, you're a liar. Spencer, you're a liar. How do I know this? Your phone records will prove it as well. The 911 dispatch log shows Jennifer Drake having 2 phone numbers on there, not just her cell phone number. She does not have a landline. And I went and I Google searched what the other number was, and that belonged to Amber Van Ling. Amber Van Ling's number was listed as Jennifer Drake's landline. How did they ever get that number? Because that's the number I believe that 911 was called from in the car. Spencer said that.
Ma'am?
Yes, this is her.
Lana?
Yes. Well, it's,
All right.
it's Lana, but you can.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So far, we're checking our system. I'm not sure if we received your records request or not. So what we're recommending, and if we happen to find the records request, we'll call you back and let you know in regards to not to file another one. But at this point, I'm going to give your friend the copy of the records request form.
Okay.
And then I'm also, oh, never mind, your friend left.
Wait, she might just be sitting in the car.
Yeah. We can also email this form to you, and then that way you have our records email address and to email it back to us. That way you have a digital copy and record of where this is going. That way it's not just a mail where it can get lost.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
What is your email address?
It is.
All right. We'll make sure we get this form sent out to you today via email.
Okay.
Right.
So,
And then, like I say, if we happen to come across it, or we find it in there that we do have it and what's gone on with it, we'll also let you know in regards to that. Okay.
okay. And then can she make one there for herself as well? That we get, like, since she's there, or
That,
can she make one as well since she's there?
that's fine with me.
Okay.
That's her right, but she's no longer in our lobby. She might have driven off. You'll have to call her.
Okay. Yeah. I think she just went and waited. I thought that's what she said.
Alrighty.
All right. You're very helpful. What was your name?
Earl.
Earl?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks so much, Earl. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome. Have a good
Okay.
day.
You too.
Yeah, see, like that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, should I just do 2 requests?
What's your name? I'll look for you. What's your name?
Oh, well, it's not mine. My friend did it. So, can I just
What's
do?
your friend's name?
Okay.
This was what I did last night, and this is how I got the information. Now they just have to give me the information.
It's going to be Bonner's Ferry. So you're going to have to contact Bonner's Ferry Police Department or Boundary County.
Oh, it's Boundary County.
You there? Yeah, it's Boundary County, not Bonner County.
Okay, see, I get you guys confused.
So they get you a phone number for them when you're ready.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready.
208
Okay.
267 3151.
3151. And so there was never, see, I thought we were, so there was, if like I would have been in Sandpoint with them, like if I was calling and I was in Sandpoint.
So you can come to the Bonner County Sheriff's Office and request the call that we got in here, but we transferred it up to Boundary County. Hold on.
Boom.
Oh, okay. I got what you're saying.
Hold on 1 second for me.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I had radio trying. So you can get the call that was put into Bonner County, but we transferred it up to Boundary County because it was their jurisdiction. So if you want the one that came into here, you can go to the front office at that 4001 North Boyer, attached to the jail.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're wanting all the calls for that particular case, you're gonna have to call Boundary County.
Okay. And
Does that make sense?
yeah, and I had it as it came to you guys first, and then it got sent to them, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so like,
There is a call that you can get from Bonner County.
okay, so I get from Bonner County, so that's you guys? I'm sorry, I'm just totally.
No, that's okay. It's hard working with two different counties. So the original call came in here, but we transferred it up to Boundary County. So
The original call came into us, which is Bonner County, which is Sandpoint. The original call. That's what she just says. And then they transferred it one time to Boundary County, which is where Bonner's Ferry is. It's really weird that Bonner's Ferry isn't in Bonner County. Bonner's Ferry is in Boundary County. Bonner County is home of Sandpoint. That's where the call originated from, in Sandpoint.
if you wanted the call that came into here, you would go to the 4001 North Boyer Avenue and get a public records request.
Okay.
But if you're wanting the whole situation, it's Boundary County's call. It's their jurisdiction.
Okay. And nothing was dispatched to you. Like it just originally came to you guys first.
Nope, our cops didn't go to it. It's not our jurisdiction. It's Boundary County strictly.
Okay. That's what I thought. I was just making sure it wasn't sent to you guys from like Kootenai County or anything like that because I didn't have to call them too. Or it's been.
Our ambulance or nothing goes up to Boundary County.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I totally like. It makes way more sense now that I talked to you because at first. Wait, and your name is? I'm sorry. Is it?
Working with other jurisdictions, you want to do both and just have that one time.
I guess they like what they did is they like patched it through. So it was like if they said like, hold on, we'll just patch you through. It was like a patch on through. Is that the right way I'm saying it?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I have radio coming at the same time. They wanted to talk as soon as you did.
Okay.
So we just send it up to them if it's their call.
Okay, and Nick, you just connect.
Their law enforcement or if it's a medical, they send their medical and it's all through them. We don't have any affiliation other than the call came in here and we maybe gathered a little bit of information from it.
Yeah. So I have a question then. Is it the reason it came into you guys was because of the location of where like we called from?
That tower.
Because it hit that tower, right?
Yep. So if let's say you were at Walmart right here in Ponderay.
Oh, yeah.
911 is going to our tower.
Okay.
So then we just transfer it up to Boundary County.
Okay. That makes sense. So it was like,
Let's say you were at Walmart right.
is it the reason it came into you guys was because of the location of where like we called from?
That tower.
Because it hit that tower, right?
Yep. So let's say you were at Walmart right here in Ponderay.
Oh, yeah.
911 is going to our tower.
Okay.
So then we just transfer it up to Boundary County.
Okay. That makes sense. So it was like wherever I was located and I called 911, but if it was like for me calling you and I was like, hey, but my friend's in like, let's say, like I said, like Bonner's Ferry, you'd be like, wait, hold on, let me patch you.
Yep, I'll transfer you to them. Yep.
Oh, okay, maybe that's the word transfer. I said patch, sorry. Transfer, let me write that down.
Oh, that's perfect. That works too.
Okay, so then you would just transfer me and then I would just be, okay, yeah, then I would just talk to them. Okay.
We would be talking to Boundary County, yep.
Okay, that makes sense. So it would be.
If you want to use the one from Bonner County, it's 4001.
Oh, 01. Okay. Well.
Boundary County Sheriff's Office is 6'4".
Okay, perfect.
Oh, no, you're totally fine. You'll have to do both. So we don't have Boundary County's records on ours. It'll take, I don't know how long.
And then if I have a question about like the CAD notes, since you do the dispatching, are those questions that you could answer, like to explain any of like the dispatching, like if you were to send them like police?
So you'd have to get those from the public records request.
Okay, do that too. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Boom. Okay. Those of you guys that have been following the Brian Moore, that there was something up with the phone with him. I call her back. Based on the tower that she was at, which is in Sandpoint. Couldn't the wife home county, which is Kootenai County, which is where like Ann Taylor's at, court heard, hear, and call. And this was a call that was not on her cell phone. This was a call that came from a different line. You guys just heard it right there. We do have a Jennifer Drake, okay? And it's what number, okay? And because on her, it's like, what time was that phone call at? You know what? And maybe I should call back right now and see if I can find out what time that call was at. So maybe that's a better question to ask is what time was that phone call at? She was very, very kind. So let me see if she can give me that information. Okay, so this is where I want now. I call her back because I want more information, and I get it because of how I do this. Oh, hi, Tiffany. I just spoke with you. I was online. Do you know the time that I could put on it when I'm writing down the date? I take my car. That's what I said. Of the 911 call. I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Give me her Jennifer. What was her last name? Was Drake. If you have her case number, I can give you a case number.
Yeah, that would help too. I just realized as I was filling out, like I was putting like the date, and I was like, you know what? So I have.
Actually, I can't give you a case number because we don't have. I'll give you the call number.
Okay, and then that's fine. The call number, and then do you have the time?
Yeah. Okay. The time would be 1929.
Okay. And then the call number was
630.
630. What was the rest of it? I'm sorry.
892.
Boom. 892. Okay, perfect. Because I'm doing this online. I think it's letting me do it. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. There you go. So boom, boom, and boom. So what I ended up proving here, and I did it all last night, is that right here, they took the 911 call out of evidence during the preliminary hearing for a reason. It's because they said it originated in Kootenai County. Again, right here where Jennifer Drake takes the stand and says during her direct examination that she $37, $38. Right there. It went straight to Coeur d'Alene. You see that? Or Hayden, because that's where she lives. I have dissected this case up, down, side by side, everything. This never happened. I can prove it. There's no police number, or there's no call on Jennifer Drake's cell phone number on her phone calling the police. There's also no records of Jennifer Drake ever calling and it going to Kootenai County and it being dispatched this way. But she had to say that it happened this way so that she could put herself sitting at home when her husband was murdered. Jennifer Drake was not sitting at home on a couch when her husband was murdered, and she lied about it. And then you have to ask yourselves, because I don't know the answer, why the police and the prosecutor would allow this and then go the lengths to cover for this when they knew damn well she wasn't in Kootenai County. She, in fact, was in Bonner County, which is in Sandpoint, which is where the call originated because it hit off of the tower in Bonner County in Sandpoint. This is her question. When you called 911, did you, which county were you dispatched to or directed to in that 911 call? It went straight to Coeur d'Alene or Hayden, the Kootenai County. That's where it was. Then they transferred me to Bonners County, who then transferred me to Boundary County. No. This is a lie, and they knew it was a lie. They let her testify this way. You cannot knowingly, as a prosecutor, allow somebody to commit perjury. Okay? Jennifer Drake was in Sandpoint, which is 45 minutes away. There is the first phone call at 6:42 that Jennifer Drake makes to her husband's phone. The question is when she called her husband at 6:42, where was her phone? That is 45 minutes till you would get to 7:29. Once you would leave, if you left Bonner's Ferry and drove to Sandpoint, it takes you 45 minutes. At 7:29, she is making a phone call at the same exact time that Isaac Funderburg is making his 911 call. They're both making this 911 call at the same exact time, allegedly. I have the first phone call. The first phone call lasts at least 1 minute and 38 seconds, which if she in fact called 911 from Bonner County, if the call came in at 7:29, it would then go from being 7:29 to being 7:30 and some change on when it would then get dispatched. Now this is the kicker. Ready? Isaac Funderburg's 911 call came in at Boundary County at 7:29 allegedly. On the phone, they don't even ask what his name is for a phone number, no nothing. Oh, I'm getting another 911 call. Let me go answer that one. And that's what you hear. And that's this alleged call being made from Jennifer Drake. And I said, why would they ever need to do any of this shit if you would just, what time did you call the police? What? Jennifer Drake's cell phone did not call the police at 7:29. So what phone did Jennifer Drake use to call 911 when she was in Sandpoint? Her fucking burner phone or Amber Van Ling's phone? Now, Spencer, Amber Van Ling's husband, was interviewed for this case. And he was asked, what time did Jennifer call? Oh, at 7:30. No, Jennifer called at 7:37 and nobody answered. Then at 8:07, Amber calls her back. Okay. And he said, yeah, she came over and then Amber went with her and they drove out to Bonner's Ferry. She was hysterical. Well, I said, no, none of that's accurate. But I said, oh, this is where this big lie comes into. So in order for Jennifer and Amber to have been together in Sandpoint at 7:29, making a phone call, you would have had to leave Hayden at 6:45 to be that far. Ready? What happened at 6:42? There was a phone call that only lasted 13 seconds. That's the phone call where Dr. Drake was shot at. Because then at 6:50, Brenner Drake calls Dwayne Fish, his boss, and says that his dad had just been shot in the leg. Wait, how could Brenner Drake know that his dad was going to be shot before he was shot at 7:27, allegedly by Jennifer Drake's words? All these people are going down. The question is who was actually the gun? Who was the trigger person? Who really shot Brian Drake? He wasn't shot at 7:27. He was shot at 6:42. And the ISP detectives messed the timing up with the surveillance cameras because it would just had been daylight savings time. And they manipulated the cameras and didn't tell anybody that those cameras weren't changed. So they were just going with the time on the cameras, which are incorrect. They gave a whole presentation that was 18 cameras, something like 84 slides, all to fucking frame Dr. Moore. This is the same exact type of an investigation that they did in the Idaho4 case, where they're using these surveillance cameras to pinpoint this white Hyundai Elantra. Okay. The prosecutor knew when they asked this question. Jennifer Drake never called 911 from Hayden. In the probable cause affidavit, the first line says, Jennifer Drake called 911 from Hayden. She was at her home. It would just take you literally 3 seconds as a police officer, because we don't got to do all these requests when we're not police officers. As a police officer, you have the report. You look at it, you would see, oh, Jennifer Drake, this 6:29 call originated in Sandpoint. And 7:29 comes 45 minutes after 6:42. Jennifer Drake has no alibi. Jennifer Drake has lied to police, has lied to her friends, and her friends have lied for her. I want my $10,000. I will get my $10,000. I will be giving Tiffany $1,000 of it, and I will be putting that money in a college fund. Period. Jennifer Drake was so greedy. She did it because she got $1 million life insurance policy. Then that wasn't enough. That Jennifer Drake then took a civil suit out against Dan Moore for the wrongful death of her husband and is wanting all of this stuff. During a civil proceeding, all of this evidence that hadn't been seen, I was able to do requests and get all of this that I wouldn't have been able to get had Jennifer Drake never filed for a civil suit against Dan Moore for wrongful death. So $1 million wasn't enough. That she then had to go and file a huge civil suit. Dan Moore counterclaimed. Because of Jennifer Drake's greed, I would have never known about this case. I would have never investigated this case. Jennifer Drake's own greed is one of the 7 deadly sins, Jennifer. You say you're a Christian, there's 7 deadly sins. I think probably everything but gluttony is you. But you're a phony Christian. You hide behind Christianity. And your greed and the fact that I was happening to cover the Idaho4 case and looking into Tolson, who was on this investigation with this case from ISP, is what led me here. I could not believe what they considered their investigation. It is disgusting what they considered how they investigated this. Your wife is suspect number 1. Those detectives cleared her to Omaha Insurance within a 3-week period to say you can have your $1 million. Jennifer Drake was Googling in the middle of the night before her husband's body was even taken off the floor of his office space. She was Googling what Omaha's number was in the middle of the night. She woke up in the morning and was calling her insurance company. She also got $50,000, $60,000 from a GoFundMe. Jennifer Drake, again, this is my channel. These are my thoughts. This is my opinion. And it is my opinion that you need to go and get one hell of a criminal defense attorney. And I will say that, Jennifer Drake, if you feel that you were lied to by law enforcement, that anybody was forcing you to go get this insurance money and that you were being blackmailed in any type of way, if there's one person that could probably prove that for you, that would be me. And so if in all that is true, if in all some ways that you actually look at all this, but I don't think there's any way that you'd be lying about your whereabouts if you were in fact the one that was, being set up. But hey, I'm willing to consider what you have to say. But 100% Dan Moore is innocent, and you can't go around framing innocent people, trying to put them away for murder of all things. And then you want to go for $1 million wasn't enough, man, that you need to go get more money. We got to go do this we got to go do this wrongful death. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your mind? And if you never do that, and if you never civilly sue Dan Moore, I would have never come across any of this. None of this. I was able to get my hands on all of this once the prosecutor withdrew the charges against Dan Moore. They took them back because they said that they didn't have enough evidence, because the Supreme Court said, yeah, his false confession, which y'all did wild shit to do that, is tossed. You can't use that. You violated this man's Miranda rights. You did all of this crazy shit. You were trying to coerce him into doing this, that, and the other. And so if you have all this evidence against this man, his confession, who cares? Okay, throw it out. If you say that you have all this evidence against him, you should have been able to take this to court. Why didn't you? Why didn't Idaho continue on prosecuting Daniel Lee Moore? It was dismissed without prejudice, which means they can at any point bring these charges back on him. To live every day wondering, because you have Jennifer Drake out there going out on public news channels saying, we know who did this. We need more evidence. Please come forward with whatever you have. That's what she did in March of 2023. I've played it on my channel numerous times. She lied to the public. She said she was with her daughter on her couch in Hayden, sitting there when she was talking to her husband, and that it's a memory that is ingrained in her forever, because then she has to call the police, after he had been shot, and that her little daughter was sitting right there next to her. All of that fucking lies. Your daughter was with Beth Mulligan on a play date. You were not even in Hayden. You were not at your house. You were not on your couch. Where was Steve Minert? Where was Brenner? Where were you? Where was Amber? Where was Spencer? And all of you guys are going to get deposed here. That's what's coming. There's a huge civil case going on. And Daniel Lee Moore countersued. I hope Daniel Lee Moore takes all y'all to the fucking cleaners. And I hope that there is a network that picks this up, because this story is the real deal on everything corrupt, wrong. You couldn't ask for a better family in the Moores, and to do this to somebody like that, you guys picked the wrong people, because they were actually in a position to be able to defend themselves. But if they didn't have money, and I'm not saying I don't even know how much, but this costs money to fight. He didn't have a public defender. Now he has to have another lawyer for this ordeal. But why in the world would you not just be like, you're totally overlooked in the most inept investigation I've ever seen in my life? that I'm going to put out there for the world to see. You always look at the wife or the husband. They didn't even look at the inner circle. They went to fuck knows what they did. And I just can't imagine that the prosecutor and these ISP detectives and officers in Bonners Ferry are willing to put their careers on the line for Jennifer Drake. Every day you hear about husbands and wives killing each other, having people hired to do it, or they do it themselves, poison people or shoot people or whatever the fuck they're doing to people. But so what would be the incentive for ISP for all these agencies to cover for this woman being a part of killing her husband? Because it's right there in black and white. The woman lied to you. The woman was not in Hayden. So right there, what were you doing in Sandpoint? And then once you see that she lied to you with where her whereabouts was, then it's her version of events to say that she was on the phone when her husband was shot. Well, then she's telling you that he was shot through the window. How would she know that? How would she know that that's going to be the red herring? Because we did a reenactment, and it is physically, scientifically impossible to have shot Dr. Drake through the window, as they claim, where his chair was, where he was sitting in a stool, and for it to not, his bullet wound is an upward angle. That's what the Sally Aikens report came back and said. It's at an upward angle. Why did the police say in their report that it was at a downward angle? Wouldn't you go with if I had a report and it said that I used lasers and then I just used rough logic. Okay, well, if he was sitting in his chair and he was hunched over and the bullet, see how it came through, it had to hit him and it had to go this way. I would then ask the ME, hey, his wound, was it upward, downward? What do we got here? Once the ME would have told you that it was at an upward angle, your motherfucking theory of this downward through the window goes out the window. It is physically impossible for Dr. Drake to have been shot through the fucking window. So how in the world do you have the audacity to get on the stand and say during a preliminary hearing, Van Leuven, all the fucking crazy shit that you said? You lied. This is perjury. This is absolute fucking craziness to me. No wonder the preliminary hearing for Brian Kohlberger did not happen. This is what was going to happen, but it was on a way bigger stage now. And they're like, we can't, oh my God, we're going to get blown up. This is so heavy. This is being, everybody in the world, all eyes on Moscow. We cannot do a preliminary hearing because we don't have what we say we have. And this is the same ISP is who did this. ISP is who's doing Idaho4. And in real time, I'm showing you guys how a man was framed with the same type of work. What I mean by that is following this vehicle around and at this time, and how they're going off of a 911 call to determine when somebody was shot, when somebody was killed. Well, very similar how they're running these two cases. And Van Leuven lied in his probable cause. Van Leuven lied on the stand. The prosecutor knew it. The prosecutor asked the questions. The prosecutor aided in misconduct. That is prosecutorial misconduct. That is perjury. And here, Jennifer Drake, still no alibi, and is literally in Sandpoint, didn't use her cell phone, used a different phone. Do you know what that means? She was concealing her fucking whereabouts. How as a detective is that not fucking just, that is 101. Are you guys that inept, or are you that fucking lazy or stupid? What is it? This is unbelievable. And people say, Lana, you're just, no, I'm not anything. I'm following the evidence. Your evidence is showing You guys are fucking pathetic. And so I want to know when the Moore fucking attorney is going to wake up and do something about this. I'm calling up the news station right now. I want these 911 calls out there. I want the location of the 911 call out there. This is no different than if we got wind that Brian Kohlberger's 911 call originated in fucking Pullman. What I've uncovered is to show that your 911 caller was 45 fucking minutes away from where she said she was. And she's 45 minutes closer to the crime scene. And that she didn't use her cell phone for any of the call. What in the world? And you guys didn't ask her one fucking question about it. You guys were asking her about her sex life and about her husband cheating. And you found out that he was doing this stuff. He's slapping people's asses. And she's over there just telling you, I didn't know anything about it. Of course she's going to say that, because if she says that she knows about it, it's motive. The fuck? She's going to say she doesn't know about anything. She's going to say she has the best marriage. Well, that's all crock of shit. If you would have interviewed properly, you guys didn't even ever interview Amber Van Ling. How do you not interview the person that Jennifer Drake was with that night after she allegedly made the 911 call? Well, now I'm telling you that Amber Van Ling was with Jennifer Drake when she made a 911 call. So now how does that fit into the whole, I just blew up the story? That's not the narrative. How is Amber Van Ling 45 minutes away from her home and in a vehicle with Jennifer Drake at 7:29? Explain that to me. That would mean that at least at the very latest at 6:45, they would have had to leave Hayden to be traveling there. Which means that Spencer's saying that, oh, Jennifer called us at 7:30 and then came over. Spencer said that his kids were in bed. Whose kids that are at that age that they were go to bed at 7:30? Now, the question is did Jennifer Drake lie to all these people, or did Jennifer Drake get help from all these church swinging people that are in their Bible study group? That's the alleged Bible study group. That Dr. Drake, Brian Drake, has a porn problem. He can't have Google on his phone, but yet he is the counselor for Hunter, their friend who has a porn addiction. Who in the fuck would ever go to somebody that has a porn addiction for counseling? You can't make this shit up. Whoever is to say that I trust my husband, he's not cheating, but I'm not allowed to let him have Google? That's one controlling motherfucking girl. And yet she either just like literally hosed the shit out of you guys because you're that not capable and inept and shouldn't have your jobs, or you were in on it. Pick your poison, because either one is pathetic. Were you having sex with Jennifer Drake? Was Jennifer Drake, did she give you half of the mill? This did not happen. The prosecutor knew it and allowed her to testify this way, knowing, because he says, oh, look at what he says. In order to, authenticate he didn't want to have his own officer commit extra perjury. We're going to have to call Jennifer Drake to the stand so that we can get this 911 call in. Why? Why couldn't Van Leuven testify to that he got a call, he got the report, and this is the 911 call, and this is the time that Jennifer Drake made it, because it's in a police report, because it's from the dispatch. Because guess what dispatch log report they would have to turn in, you guys? The Bonner County one, where it originated, which would have proven that Jennifer Drake was not in Hayden. That's why they had to fucking do it this way at the preliminary hearing, and this defense attorney doesn't fucking catch it. Well, if I'm the Moores, I sue you for ineffective assistance of counsel. I wouldn't be out all this money if you would have fucking defended me with an ounce of fucking, brains. How do you go to a preliminary hearing with no evidence? They only supplied 33 pages of 5,000. How are you not motioning to say, Your Honor, we haven't received any of the discovery and they want us to have a preliminary hearing? How does it not ring a bell go off in your heads when they keep skating around how they're going to introduce a 911 call? That's not that doesn't give you, I don't know, why are they skating around how to introduce a 911 call? And the way that they tried to introduce it by Jennifer Drake saying she was on the phone with her husband, and that's the time stamp of that call, and that I got off the phone and I called 911 right after that. Well, why didn't she ask in the line of questioning? Drake's call came into you. Your call went out to him. That's all on there, isn't it? Well, where's the 911 call that you made after you got off the phone with him? Where's that one? Oh, I have no idea why it's not on here. Where is that fucking question? No, because guess what? If you would have got Dan Moore off during the probable cause phase of this, which is the preliminary hearing, you wouldn't have made no fucking money. That's why. You don't make any money if, oh my God, you blow up the spot right then, right? It's over. It's curtains, right? If you point it out right then, who doesn't make the money? You, as a defense attorney, wouldn't make what you've made to this point, which is how much money? How much money have you made to this point? This is malfeasance. This is against the fucking law. This is insane. And this happens every fucking day. Multiple times a day in every fucking state. You think attorneys make money when they close something out within a day or two? No. That's not how they make any money. That's not how you make money. Like I said, I hope the Moores sue their fucking everybody involved. And there is no way in hell that you're going to sit here and tell me that this defense attorney is this inept. It takes two people to tango. All right. What I mean by that is Jennifer Drake with these agencies. If a prosecutor is truly going to prosecute a case and not take a look at a fucking log to see that, wait, Jennifer Drake's going to say that she was at home when I have the report. And why didn't they just put the report in, put the dispatch information in? And the judge is even asking that. No, we're just going to call Jennifer Drake to the stand. And this is how we're going to get in this 911 alleged call and where it came from and what it generated. So Jennifer Drake got to say that she called from Hayden. Then you would think the defense attorney would just get up on the stand and light her the fuck up and impeach her. And I don't give a fuck if they gave you that or not. You could have put the request in to go get this information like that. And you didn't, to defend Dr. Moore. And instead, you have made how much fucking money, man? This is all about money. This is sick. This is sick. And I'm going to do something about it because I can. Because I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I want. I am flexing on my First Amendment rights. This is all my belief, my opinions based off of, boom. These are all based off of factual events that have taken place or lack thereof. Because why? You're that inept? No. So, channel name, Truth and Transparency. You don't like it? Get out of the kitchen. Boom. This November 29th, 4 people that were murdered, and you want to fuck around. You got 8 families that are being affected by this, and they just mean nobody from the university.
Shock value. And so what he did was he had taken pictures California.
Oh, you're from I would be outraged if I lived in Moscow right now. I'd be lighting some cars on fire out there. I'd be flipping some cars. I'd get the frats going wild. Let's get some noise complaints going. You damn right we're almost to a baby.